Howdy, howdy, YouTube. This is my second attempt at filming this video because my camera seems to be glitching and it seems to be doing it again, so we'll see if it works better this time or not ultimately, but I basically am here to touch base with y'all about the readathons I've been doing this summer and the few that are coming up in August that I'm going to do my best at participating in. Um, Obviously, this is black and white. I might have a freshly skin peeled nose right now, so this is my way of hiding that. Why are you glitching? So, for the self-care readathon, there is 12 prompts of books and 12 prompts of like paired self-care activities to go with the books. I have, I believe, done one, two, three, four, five of them officially. I think I can apply some of the books I've already read to other sections, but officially, I've read five of the prompts, and then I've also read the book club book, or like not the book club, sorry, the overall like team read for the self care readathon, which is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I loved it. It was such a cute, sweet story. I don't typically read romance. Maybe the pandemic has made me soft or something, but I absolutely adored it. It was a great story. The breath of fresh air prompt is read a book with a theme of renewal, rejuvenation, or growth. I read the life changing art of tidying, or sorry, life changing magic of tidying up by Marie Kondo. As I look behind my computer right now, I see that my life can still use more tidying up, but I theoretically have grown. My clothes now fit in my drawers better with the KonMari method, so that's exciting. Ooh, yes, I've read more than the five. I've read six. Phone a Friend, which is read a book featuring friendship. I just finished Codename Verity, which is a story of two friends, and they were both in the WAF in World War II, which I believe is the air portion of the Air Force kind of thing for the women out of the UK area. So that book was beautiful. It was heartfelt. I sobbed quite a bit. Loved it. I haven't read a historical fiction book in a while, so that was super fun for me to like just read it. It took a second to get into because I was just very confused with what was going on, but it was lovely. Inner Peace. Oh no, I have not read the Inner Peace prompt yet. Sorry. I have read the Nap Time. Read a book with a dreamy cover. I'm going to give that the Wind Up Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami, and it's a really pretty cover, and it actually says dreamlike is one of the quotes that they've picked from another author to put on the front, so I'm like, it definitely applies. And I'm not showing you all the books because I've already shown them in other videos and in my wrap-up that just came out, and also my books are way downstairs, so here we are. Snuggle Bunny, I have read this one, which is read a book while cuddling your favorite blanket or pillow. I read Hunting Party by Lucy Foley, all cozied up, which it was a mystery suspense, but it also took place in Christmas, so I just cranked up my AC because it's super hot outside and it got all cozy. And it was a really good book. It was also like a pretty like rough start for me, but the twist at the end really got me, so I did enjoy that. I have done the Pamper Me prompt, which is read a book that I'm excited to read, and this is not actually. So it was not this book, although I was excited to read this book. It was Elantris, also by Brandon Sanderson. That was the book I like fulfilled that prompt with. I was so excited to read it because I've read, with the exception of this guy here, all of the rest of the books in the Cosmere, and this is just a collection of short stories and stuff. So and novellas, but yes, it was great. Loved it. I was very excited to read it. And then Feed Your Mind. Read a nonfiction book to learn something new. I read White Fragility, Why It's So Hard to Talk to White People About Race by Robin DiAngelo, and I was kind of aware going in that this book was portrayed in like the analogy given to describe this book was kind of like an antibiotic or a vaccine, just to like get you started on the healing process, so to speak. It's not the full learning lesson you need to get, but it's like a really good place to start if you haven't really just, if you're not very aware of these issues or you just want to learn. And I did enjoy it. I do think I learned a lot. I do still have room to grow though, so I'm going to pick up another book on this topic. And if you have any recommendations for books that kind of just are educational about race, but about racial dynamics and racism and white supremacy in this country, I'd love to read whatever y'all would recommend. Would be a great learning thing for me. So yes, and on that note, continue to support the Black Lives Matter movement in any way that you can. And this is an ongoing issue. Just because the cameras have stopped rolling does not mean it's actually stopped. And like, I personally can't go out and protest because of some health issues I have surrounding the pandemic. So I'm doing what I can by educating myself and telling others in the hopes that like that will inspire you and them to go do the same thing. Because even if all you do is educate yourself and tell like one person about it, that is a chain reaction that you're starting, and that's also very important. Very important. I can't talk. Very important to do what you can in this time. And be safe if you are out protesting. Please wear a mask. The pandemic's not over. This is the new cute one I got today. It's a little circuit board with flowers. Wear a mask, bro. The pandemic's not over. So that was covering the self-care readathon, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Becca's Bookopoly now. I'm back with all my books. Went and decided to pull these out for the next section of this video anyways, but basically the way Becca's Bookopolathon is going to work is, if you haven't watched her TBR videos, they're really fun. I actually hadn't heard of them or even her before this, but I watched those and now I love her channel. It's very fun. It's just a really unique way to do your TBR. She like has a Monopoly board. That's the word I was looking for. She has a Monopoly board that's set up and she rolls the dice, and it gives her prompts and she has to do her TBRs based off of that. So that's kind of what she's doing in a very condensed, I believe, 48-hour time window. And she gave us the first roll, and every 12 hours after that we're going to get a new prompt. So I'm going to basically just tell you what... I haven't even picked, technically, the book I'm going to read for the first one, but I'm going to tell you all what my chance cards are, because I've picked those. So, the first roll is paranormal or magical realism novel or story. If I can get a hold of the first set of graphic novels for Sandman, I'm not sure if that technically applies. Neil Gaiman tends to do fantasy stories in modern settings, so I'm assuming it's along the same lines. If I'm wrong, I'll pick a different one, but I'm attempting to get a hold of the first graphic novel set from that, which I believe is... I don't remember what it is. Anyways, then I'll use that. If not, I still need to work on one. I don't read a lot of paranormal stories, although it might be fun to just get back into that for this. So if anyone has any recommendations for that, please leave them down below. And the chance cards is you're supposed to kind of, because you have she'll be doing a number of rolls at which you have an opportunity to do like the chance card. What that means is you put 4 books. She said she recommends making 4, and what you're supposed to do is like pick 2 that you do want to read and 2 that you're less excited to read. So that's what I did. I believe I picked... Okay. Oh yes, it's in this pile. Okay. So the trick with readathons is apparently short books. I watch a number of people's videos, and I don't have a lot of short books, as I discovered. I have a lot of big books. I have a magnet that actually says I like big books, and I cannot lie. Yeah. Anyways, so I have picked these books as my chance cards. It's Carson McCullers' The Ballad of the Sad Cafe and Other Stories. My parents are selling this in a garage sale. It looked interesting. Don't know a lot about it, so it's one I'm less excited to read. I've had it on my TBR for multiple years because my parents were trying to sell it and it looked kind of cool, so I put it I kept it, and so this is one of my chance cards. The Little Prince is another one of my chance cards. I am excited to read this one. I haven't really been motivated to read it because it's just not in my wheelhouse normally, but it's small, and this would be a great opportunity if I roll the chance card to read this. I'm gonna put these over here. Another book I have on my chance is Jack Kerouac's The Subterraneans, and I am excited to read this, I think. I don't honestly know a lot about it. It says it's the first clear development of the American romantic prose since Hemingway. Kerouac's writing is full of mad sex, comedy, and widescreen travel writing and long lyrical evocations of American childhood and adolescent memories. Seems like it's going to be a wild ride. He wrote this like when he was in the underground. It covers the course of 3 days of the underground of San Francisco, I believe. So I don't have a lot of expectations with this book, but it seems like it would be just something fun to read. So I'm excited about this. And I'm also excited about this, but I'm qualifying it as one of my I'm less excited about it chance cards just because it's a little bit longer. And it's about a pandemic, and therefore I'm not particularly motivated to read it. Y'all heard my video and my poor timing choice with The Stand by Stephen King, but it's called Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. My mom recommended this book. I've always liked dystopian novels, except for we're kind of living in one, so it's kind of put a damper on it for me, but hopefully, that's why I'm medium excited to read this book, so that's why I qualified it as a chance card. Awesome. And now we're going to talk about the reading rush. It is July 20th through 26th on this notebook and 27th on that one, so I'll link the websites down below and the videos for all these things, so that way you can go get the actual correct information from them and not just rely on me. So the first prompt for the reading rush is read a book that is the same color as your birthstone. My birthstone is a diamond, and that is typically a translucent rock. My birthday's in April, sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. Anyways, however, I did look up the coloring and stuff like that on Wikipedia. There was a whole thing about the variations of diamond colors and all of that. And the standard diamond that most people see, like in wedding rings and jewelry, is technically colored white. It's just like translucency scale is very high. But diamonds are also often like the more rare, but like the magnificent diamonds are black or blue. So with those three colors in mind, you can't really tell in this lovely black and white nonsense here. But Mistborn Secret History, this is the UK print. The book is white. Some of this, like the mist going off, is black and blue. So, hold on one second. See, you can see the colors now. Very exciting. Black, white, blue. This is technically inside of Arcanum Unbounded, but I'll wait to read this story until the reading rush so I can get the points for it then. The next one is, and I think I should caveat here, and I probably should have said it at the beginning, I have 7 books on this list. The likelihood that I'm going to read 7 is very slim. So, as I say the book, if they apply to multiple prompts, which you're allowed to do, I will be saying they also apply to prompt like 3 and 6, which number 2 happens to. So, anyways, The Princess Bride. So, the prompt says, read a book that starts with The Princess Bride. I love the movie, and I'm very much a stickler with, like, I need to read the book before I ever see the movie or TV adaptation. It's just how my brain works, so but my mom recently got me this book, and I do love the story, and I'd love to just, like, hang out more in the universe, so this applies to the and to prompt 3 and 6. Prompt 3, I'll just continue to hold it up, is read a book that inspired a scene in a movie, or like anything that's like in movie or TV, so this is clearly a movie. But if I decide to be extra fun and read another book, Around the World in 80 Days, by Jules Verne, and there's been, I believe, more than one movie adaptation of this. It's a nice classic. I think it's the Magnum versions. I'm not really sure. But Got nice yellowed pages and smells like old book, and the font is really big, actually. Exciting. This book, fun fact, also applies to number 7, and I'll tell you when we get there. And book prompt number 4 is read the first book you touch. I will be inserting in a second the clip of me doing this. I have a TBR bookshelf, and I put all the small books together, and I then went like this and picked one. So without further ado, let's do that. Howdy YouTube, I'm back. This is my TBR shelf here, and I've been picking out books for the reading rush, and for the challenge, asking about which book you touch first out of all the books on my shelf, because this is a, sorry about moving my camera, because this is a reading rush and you're trying to read as many books as possible, these are the shortest books on my TBR shelf. So a few of them also happen to be elsewhere on the books I've selected for this list, so I'm going to just kind of like figure out which one I want to read, and I'm going to have my eyes closed. Whenever one I touch first will be the one I end up reading for, I believe it's number 5 on the list. This is going to get shoved in the middle of the video I make when I make it in a few weeks. Anyways, here we go. I'm going to pick this one. Ooh, The Pearl by John Steinbeck. Nice and super short. Oops, it's torn a little bit, but novella, and I'm excited to read it. I think this will be the last book of the John Steinbeck era books, the John Steinbeck books that I own that I have not read. So, woo! Reading John Steinbeck's The Pearl. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope everything was good. I low-key might have touched a few other books while I was at it, but we're gonna just, I'm gonna read The Pearl. I did not actually carry it upstairs with me, which is a real bummer, because I intended to do that. But anyways, I'll be reading The Pearl for that, John Steinbeck, book prompt number 4. This technically also applies to prompt number 5. Read a book while not in your house. No matter what I do, I'm probably not going to apply this, like, it's not going to be its own book. I'm just going to pick a short story, and read it outside. Yeah, I'm not supposed to spend too much time in the sun. I do have a little bit of a patio, but it has no shade, so it just would not be great for me to be outside. And they did caveat this prompt if you're not in a place or you don't have a method to like be safely outside, because we are in a pandemic. So just go look at their FAQ page on their website, which is again linked down below, and they'll have some ideas for you. Prompt number 6 is a genre that scares you or a genre I read the least. And I have a couple of different options here. And I haven't been reading a lot of classics this summer, so I might qualify Around the World in 80 days here, or something like that, if I'm just trying to like shove categories together. I usually read a lot of classics in the summer because Barnes & Noble is at it's $5 classic editions of books, and I do love classics, but this year's been very fantasy heavy, so this is kind of a cheat option. But my first go-to is, I don't read very much romance. I think the first romance book I've read in like many years was that Emily Henry Beach read. So I know this is technically fantasy, but it is also primarily a love story. So this might be the book I'm scared of reading, or I guess the genre romance. Also, again, might qualify a classic in this area. We're going to see what I get to when I get there. And then the prompt number 7 is read a book set in a different continent than the one you live in. I live in America, North America, so that North America is the continent. So Around the World in 80 Days applies here, because they start off in the UK area, I believe, England specifically. So that is part of the continent of Europe. I do not live there. However, I might I don't know if this is super allowed, but I'm planning on starting to read this book, which is not small. here in a few days. It's Alexandre Dumas's Louis de la Villiers. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't speak French. It's the one language that gives me the most trouble. But I love Alexandre Dumas, and I'm very excited to read the story. It is set in France, also in Europe where I do not live. So I might start this a little bit before the thing and finish it during the reading rush as my prompt. This one also can technically fit in the number 6, which is the genre that scares you, that I read the least of, because I have not read very many classics this year, and that bums me out. So I have a lot of books to choose from. I do think I might have 5 unique books here, because a lot of them do overlap, which is how I've decided to do this. So yeah, thanks for watching my video. I am planning on vlogging, and I say that loosely because I've never once vlogged before in my life. My YouTube channel is still a new thing here. Still only film my videos with my photo booth on my Mac, and I edit them with iMovie. I don't honestly care a whole lot to put in much more effort than that. It's just not. I just want to talk to y'all about books, and that's what matters more to me than the quality of my videos. So I'm going to attempt to vlog my reading. I'll probably for sure vlog Becca's Bookopolathon, because I'm only going to really be participating for maybe 12 to 18 hours, and that doesn't seem too scary. But the reading rush seems like it'll be a lot, and it'll be a very long video. I might just live stream some sprints of it or something like that. That might be easier for me. But expect some amount of videos surrounding these activities. But yeah, I am trying to read a lot more this month. I've already finished 2 books, and it is the 6th day of July. I technically finished... Oh no, 3 books, sorry. I finished... It might just be 2 books. Anyways, I've finished 2 books last weekend. It was very exciting. So that is good. And I'm not trying to push myself excessively for any reason. It's summer. We're in the pandemic. What else am I going to do with my life? Also, my YouTube channel is named Casey is Booked because I'd like to kind of be able to have a little flexibility with what I do. I might be changing the name ultimately, but for right now, Casey's Booked means I can talk about books. I can book a virtual workout class. I'm thinking about posting some yoga videos. I've gotten into doing that. I'm not an official certified yoga instructor at this point, but I am doing a training video that would qualify me as a yoga expert. So anyways, it seems fun. And I also do have an upcoming trip coming up. Words are hard. It's a Monday when I'm filming this. I have a trip coming up, so I'll probably be booking a vacation style video, travel video for y'all. But that won't be till August. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I get to go. I would love the world to stop falling apart, but here we are. So thank y'all so much for bearing with me. This is probably gonna be a longer video than I normally do, but I look forward to doing all this reading with y'all. So let me know if you have any other ideas or suggestions for videos.